gate, following. It's the gate of opinions. There's a logical gate in the Ajna Center, so it is a conceptualizing gate. And it is a logical conceptualizing gate. And its fundamental process is that it is always trying to place concepts within a pattern or a structure that can give that concept a sense of correctness. In other words, a concept that fits within a pattern, that the pattern itself is something that can be laid out and it can be recognized, and as such, it is something that can be tested, and if it's proven that the pattern is correct, then the pattern can be utilized. And of course, when we're dealing with the 17th gate and its harmonic gate, the 62nd gate, we're dealing with the channel of the organizational being, that is, this channel of acceptance. But this operates at many, many levels. One of the things to recognize about the 17th gate, and it is a gate of opinions, is that the fact that something can be constructed within a pattern does not mean that the result is necessarily truth. You know, this is something that is so important to see. This is just another pattern, and there are so many patterns. And in understanding the nature of the body graph and the way in which the logic process operates, it's very difficult for any logical opinion to be able to attract enough energy to be able to manifest that opinion in reality. In other words, so much of the nature of opinion is that opinion is something that tends to be expressed verbally rather than something that can lead directly to action. It's one of the dilemmas of being designed as human beings to believe that our minds are capable of running our lives. And that it's so obvious when you're dealing with conceptualizing gates, the gates in which, in fact, we create, if you will, the illusion of the Maya that we live in, that the very fact that this is the place where it originates does not mean that in and of itself it has the capacity to act out on the concepts. It really does not. It's an ordeal for the 17th gate opinion to finally get to a place where that opinion can be either justified or rejected. And so often there is a deep frustration within the logical process. And of course the 17th gate, as a byproduct of this dilemma, tends to be argumentative in its nature. In other words, trying to establish through the potential to articulate, and remember, without the 16th gate there is no potential to even articulate. To try to articulate over and over again the pattern, the repetition of the pattern, in the hope that that pattern will ultimately be accepted. But I think one of the most unusual things about the 17th gate, along with the 18th gate, they carry with it a very special attribute. You know, the process of challenge and correction in the 18th gate is all about the ultimately benefiting the collective. That is, its purpose is ultimately positive in that sense. The same thing is true of the 17th gate, and you can see this in lead-in in the Rei Vi Ching to the gate itself. It says, the ancient law that those who wish to rule must know how to serve. And it is one of the things about the nature of opinion, to really understand opinion archetypally, is to recognize something. That a concept that is logical, that does not serve the people, is not a concept that is going to find the embrace of energy. And this is one of the things to see. If one is going to have the capacity to lay down a foundation for the organization of the other, then that very foundation and the pattern that is laid out must ultimately serve the other. And it's only through this service to the other that the opinion ultimately is something that can enrich the collective life and will, in fact, find the energy resources that it needs. And so here in the 17th gate, and remember in the 6th line of the 17, is the line of the Bodhisattva. You know, this is about both perfected following and perfected teaching in that sense. And it is this, it's the core of the 17th gate. If your opinions do not serve the larger whole, then they are not opinions that are ever going to be accepted by the larger whole. It's that simple.